something that a lot of people have been waiting for, the GT4 to become an RS, and here we are with the RS. This is a really hardcore GT car because the engine in this car is derived from the 911 GT3, and that is derived from the 911 GT3R, the race car, the pure race car, which you buy for your racing team. So what they've done is they cramped down that engine into this car. They had to fiddle a bit with it. Delivers 500 horsepower, so it's down 10 horsepower due to a longer exhaust, which gives a bit more back pressure because the engine is placed in the middle. That's why this car gives such good balance. And as you roll off, of course, you get the sense of this is a hard setup car. You got some nose racing system here, which, well, you need that. But when the road is a bit smooth, I think it's rather compliant. And what you notice as well is how quick the gear changes are. They're not as long as in the regular GT4, so this has been sharpened up and shortened a bit. 7-speed there. It's very purposeful, this car. It's on its toes, so even though you drive in comfort mode and you don't have the settings put in sport, the chassis settings put in sport or the PDK in sport, you know, it's very agile. It's very much let's go, let's go, let's go. And the throttle is just the same. Just as you touch it, it just want to go. You can have it set in sport just off the bat because I think that's what this car is about. We got the Visac pack on this one as well, so you get a lot of carbon fiber stuff. You can also choose those magnesium wheels, the alloys. Saves about 10 kilos all in all. We got the ceramic brakes on this one, and they bite so well. It got some other things here as well. You get the NACA inlets here, that's to cool the brakes. You also got these vents up here, which lets all the hot air in the wheel house here come out, so it doesn't give any lift or something like that. The fins here, they transport the air better into the intakes. There's also a little cut here, so aerodynamics becomes a lot better. There's a new intake up here that was needed for this bigger engine. So the induction sound is amazing, especially when you get over 6,000 RPM. From 8 to 9, it's electrifying. That is pure engine joy. You know, we're just up here in the band of 4 to 6,000 RPM, and you can hear how it sounds. Those gear changes, they are so quick. Wow, they change fast. I don't know the milliseconds of those changes, but it feels like they're below 200 milliseconds. We'll rev it a little here, so we put it in PDK Sport, and there we go down to second. And Jesus. Wow. Well, it really wakes you up in the morning. And compared to the GT3 Touring that I drove, which has an amazing sound as well, feels like it's a bit more dampened than this. This is even more hardcore race GT Cup car in a way. I like the way this looks. I think it looks very aggressive. And you know, a compact car is a bit better on the road, especially with the engine placed in the middle like this. Back here, you get these sticker here, GT4 RS. So yeah, maybe it's to save weight there as well. This wing, it's rather big, and this swan neck that you get here, that gives 25% better downforce compared to the normal GT4. Maybe you can call that normal, but anyhow, this is more hardcore. A big diffuser back here, those very aggressive big tailpipes, and the glass is a bit lighter back here as well. So there's a lot of weight-saving stuff around here. You get some space back here because it's a mid-engine car. You get some space in the back and in the front. And the engine cover here, well, it's carbon fiber. They also took away some of that damping carpet, and the airbox is placed there as well. So the sound inside the car is amplified. It really sounds good, and that's what you want. And you get this titanium roll cage as well, so it looks even more sportier. And if you want to service it, well, you can only fill some oil and some water. that's about it. A compact sporty cabin, of course. You get this race text all around and this Visac pack. Well, you get a lot of carbon fiber all around. You get these straps here, which you open the door. I think they work pretty well. And the steering wheel, it's very compact, it's very sporty. There's no buttons on this one. It's just clean. I think they're magnesium, those paddles behind the wheel here as well. Very good feel to them. You always get a perfect grip in a Porsche. And I like that the steering wheel is not that thick. I appreciate that. The layout with the buttons and everything, we're pretty familiar with that now. It's been around for a long time, and you know what? It just works. The clicks and everything, it feels pure. There's not any semi-haptic feeling to it as you get in most modern cars. That is something that wants to, like elevate the luxury, but I don't think it does. This is a lot better. And the gearbox here, it looks like a manual gearbox. So you're a bit fooled in the beginning. You think, oh, it's a manual, but no, it isn't. You push this and you put it into gear. Also, the infotainment system, you can click in the configurator if you want to have that removed. I don't know how many kilos that are, but I think it becomes a bit ridiculous when you want to, like remove everything. But if you're a hardcore track day person that want to talk about the weight save and all of that, well, sure, then that's for you. Just remove everything. The carbon bucket seats, they are a must in a car like this. I think you're missing the point if you're choosing the electric comfort seat or the normal sport seats. They work, but in this car, this is not supposed to be driven on the road. It's supposed to be driven on track, and we'll see about that later, of course. You get the 6-point harnesses. They are cool, of course. As soon as you see something like this, then you know it's a serious track car. But, when you drive on the public roads, you just take your 3-point belt. I mean, imagine putting this on when you're picking up your date or something. You get a fire extinguisher, and the carpets, they are also lighter. So weight saving there as well. And of course, it's very cool to see the engine here is just, some inches away from your ear. So it's very present and it's on its toes all the time. No, it's a pure race car, this one. It is. The gearbox has been refined. The gear ratios are a lot shorter, and that suits this engine and the car very, very well. So you reach 9,000 RPM at 116 kilometers an hour in second gear, compared to the GT4, which reaches 124 kilometers. So they're a bit tighter, those gear ratios. And the great thing about this box as well isn't that it doesn't punch you that much. It's very smooth, silky smooth, even though you're up there and it's in its sportiest setting. I don't know why you would like to have a manual gearbox. That's just for the feeling. But this PDK, it's just so brilliant in the way it works that would you really want something else, really? Personal taste, and I don't know, even if you buy this one, will you be on track every other weekend? I don't know. You will drive it on the road as well, and it works. We can put it into a softer setting here. Normal is not that quiet. It's not quiet. It isn't, but it works. On smooth surfaces, it works. Well, it is wet now, so it struggled a bit there to get some traction, but wow. When they got some temperature, those tires, and it's dry with 15 degrees plus or something, man, I think this got some traction. So we're here at Gillinge Test Track, our new little home track. And what can be better than a GT4 or a GT car than to get someone who really knows how to drive one of these cars? Pop in here, brother, can we say that?
Thank you.
How you doing? Nice to see you again.
Thank you.
So this is one piece of machinery. It's almost too much for the road. What do you think we can do with this one on track?
It will be interesting because I know that the balance of this car are really, really good.
Yeah.
And I think we can do very, very good, even if it's wet.
Yeah, because these Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, they're made for this car, but they need a lot of temperature. What do you think? You know, many people drive these 911s, GT3s. They buy them and they drive on track. Do you think this is a better alternative to those cars?
I would say that because it's the weight is more balanced, and you really learn how to drive a race car quick with this one. It's not any specific technique you have to use. So I would go for this one before a GT3 if I like to go on track days.
This will be interesting. So now we're in the car, and you have buckled up real good.
Yes.
The 6-point harness and the 3-point. So you got 9-point.
Yeah, I feel safe.
Safety harness. This is derived from the GT, the real GT class, which you've been driving a lot.
Yeah.
And the engine is the same from the engines in the GT3 class. They've cramped that down into this car. So it's a serious package. It's 500 horsepower, and it revs all the way to 9,000 RPM. So it's one angry engine, this one. A mid-engine car. The balance is a bit different from the 911s, which are further back. Is that something that have you experienced those two different type of cars before?
Yeah, I have been driving both cars on racetrack, of course. And to learn how to drive fast on a racetrack, I would say that this car is better because the balance is more. Yeah, it feels more like a normal car, and you learn everything in a better way. Porsche GT3, for example, is more like you have to drive with a unique driving style. This car you can push hard like front-wheel drive car or regular rear wheel car.
Right. So in what way do you need to drive a 911 or a GT3 car? In what way?
You need to drive the corners a little bit like we say
Yeah.
You have to use the power and the traction that you have. So you take down the speed a lot more in the corner to have as good speed as possible out of the corner.
Sure.
Of course, this is what you need to do with every car, but with the GT3 it's more important because the balance is so different.
Right.
It's a really nice sound.
The sound is amazing. But it's very lively. It's very lively. Okay, we'll let you drive. But it's very addictive. The sound, how it shifts, how it works. It's, you can't almost buy a better car to feel like a real racing driver. I mean, this is almost as close to GT class you can get.
The steering is amazing. It's almost a little bit too good steering in the front because you really don't feel the rear. But with this car, we will drive faster than we should have done with a GT3.
We almost have to scream to each other here to hear what we're saying. As it revs up to 9,000, you really come alive. I mean, wow, you get motivated as a driver. But look at that.
It feels like the sound is like a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's like a motorcycle, yeah, right. Such high in the revs. But doesn't it feel like you're almost back in a race car? Or?
Yeah, it is a race car.
I can hear what you said.
It is a race car.
It is a race car. Yeah, it is a race car. Yeah. Okay, try to rev it out to 9 and let's see how it sounds. It's magnificent.
It's crazy slippery today. Normally it's very, very hard to drive a race car like this with these tires.
Yeah.
But with this car, it's possible to drive pretty fast. So
Sure.
And it's a good sign for great balance, great car.
Let's set a lap time.
because it's so slippery. Braking, turning, take it slow, focus on the traction. Here we have the last chicane. 51.1, that's okay.